What do you do if you have an elderly parent who lives in long-term care, in a long-term care facility, and they all of a sudden have a roommate that they just don't get along with? What are your parents' rights? I'm going to go over three things you can do if your elderly parent is living in long-term care and they have a roommate that is just awful. I have a client who asked this question because they were really struggling. They had placed their father into a long-term care facility over a year ago, and their father was acclimating pretty well. But their father was blind, and so he was very used to his room. He was able to get around in his room because he was used to the setup, the layout of the room. And all of a sudden, they put a really young person in that room to live who had a head injury. And so they were very aggressive. They were violent sometimes. They would mess with things within the room. And the facility told the family that the person who complains has to move. Now, does that make any sense at all? It really doesn't, especially for somebody who's been there for over a year, who's blind and has acclimated to that environment. So here are three things you could do. You can call the ombudsman and have them intervene on your behalf. They're really good at advocating. Number two, you can go to the facility and tell them you are going to contact a lawyer. And then if you don't get results, the third thing you can do is to actually call that hotline, because your parent does have a right to be free from abuse. And over the years I've been doing this, I see that if you push the facility, you stand up for yourself, they will do what's in their best interest to protect themselves. And moving someone who's blind because a new person came in and they can't get along with them is not respecting the original patient's rights.